I am really excited to share a presentation that I presented at a virtual conference late last year. We could often look at diversity as a cross-section between two different worlds and how one might manage the differences. In this video, we look at the discipline of filmmaking and customer experience research. And some of you know my story. I was a filmmaker that converted over to user experience, customer experience research. In this video, we look at filmmaking and user experience research and how they intertwine with each other in terms of creating an excellent experience for your customers. Take a watch, and if you like this video, please hit like. Please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a moment of what we're doing, and we would love it if you can share this video with your friends.
Prologue. What makes people happy? It's a question that philosophers have wrestled with for ages, even as they've pontificated their perspectives. Aristotle was actually considered the happiness philosopher. I'm not a philosopher per se, but I'm going to do two things. I'm going to share my thoughts on happiness related to user experience, particularly my specialty, UX research. I'm also going to help us view this topic through the lens of a filmmaker. My name is Sean Baxter, but most people call me Baxter. I've been a UX practitioner for over 10 years. I'm also a filmmaker, having made films across a variety of genres for even longer. When people find out that I'm a filmmaker now practicing UX, they consistently ask two questions. Any guesses? Well, before I answer that, did you know that I can predict what's happening in your body right now? Silence fills the air. Suspense builds, and your brain starts producing the neurotransmitter dopamine, causing you to focus and increase your interest in what I'm saying. This is typically the body's response when in suspense. It can't help itself. Behavioral science, it's a dark art that can be used for good or bad. And design, be it UX or filmmaking, is a manipulation of these dark arts. So, what are the two questions I typically get asked? It's the question that drives us. Well, I won't leave you in suspense. The two questions are, what films did you work on, and how did you move from filmmaking to user experience? Some of you really want to know that answer, but my friends, that's a topic for another day. If you're really disappointed in that response, then your body produced the stress hormone cortisol. It's pumping in your bloodstream now. Maybe even the adrenaline of anger is building. Your muscles are tensing up. Even my description is adding to your response, even as I speak slower at a lower register. Manipulation. But then I pause and smile, and you hear it in my voice as it rises. I say something lighthearted, witty, or funny, like a joke. What did the police officer say to the mime when he arrested him? You have the right to remain silent. You either laughed or groaned or even finished the line. The joke was kind of obvious. There's a neural coupling happening between us. It's creating affinity, moving us away from enemies towards allies, friends. And your tense muscles relax. Those stress hormones dissipate. Again, manipulation. This is the art of filmmaking, and this is also UX. They're both design. Great thing about these two disciplines is that story is at the center. A character presented in a visual story or a persona going through a customer journey. They are both representations of the real life we all live in some form or fashion, with its highs and lows, ups and downs, mountains and valleys, unexpected turns that bring us misery or delight. All design, all stories of us. Design can be many things: creative communication, introspective expressionism, or problem solving. Faced with a problem, need a solution, design it, figure it out. You might ask, how do you figure it out? Or perhaps a more interesting question, why do you figure it out? It's the question that drives us. When we first start our careers, our journey into design, we're often called to approach problems with childlike wonder, to think beyond the possible and bring the impossible into reality. This could be a mobile app, a curated space, systems, and yes, even films. Have you ever tried to make a film? This could be a corporate video, vlog, commercial, music video, short narrative, documentary, or feature. You will face challenge after challenge, obstacle after obstacle. You will paint yourself into a corner and then have to magically figure your way out before time runs out. The same with an app, curated space, or a system. Let's look at design, but not as you undoubtedly perceived it up until this point, but through the lens of filmmakers, the actor, the writer, the director. Act one, the actor, the personification, the tour guide, the embodiment of dreams. All the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. Shakespeare. Actors typically do two things. They manifest the characters they play and they authentically react to their environment. Whether you're a student of the great acting teachers Adler, Meisner, Kazan, or Strasberg, who by all counts stem their teachings from Konstantin Stanislavski, they all have this in common: realism, authenticity. The method, or a lot about what method acting is not acting at all. It's about stripping away the concept of acting and becoming the person of that character, tapping into their neuroses, quirks, and weirdness. It's all about the way they perceive their world, their situation, their environment. This is their mental model. Sound familiar? In user experience design, we talk about mapping a persona, a person, their mental model. Again, how they perceive the world. As an actor, you do the same thing. You become. When an actor prepares for a new role, they often do ethnographic research. They watch and observe people. They gain a deep understanding of how they think, how they function, and how they become. This is different from how we typically think about doing ethnographic research. When we do it, we attempt to garner empathy for the end user, the people that we're designing for, their pain points, their challenges, and as we gain that empathy, we look to share it with our team. And that's okay. But perhaps there's a better way, the way of the actor becoming. Not just the pain points we observed, but that torment expressed, profoundly feeling that frustration with a desperation for a way out, a pursuit of happiness. We often talk about creating personas with a set of demographics and psychographics that are all too formulaic characterizations of a real person, a real person. This would be considered bad acting, not a show you'd pay for. We shouldn't approach our work as designers so scientifically. Where's that raw emotion, that rage about a terrible experience? We shouldn't just present a two-dimensional figure. We should express all that complexity of the tones of humanity, vulnerability, fear, risk, joy, tranquility, and satisfaction. We could take Meisner's teaching where he says, as actors, we behave truthfully in an imaginary situation. After all, you haven't designed the new product, service, or experience yet. Hopefully, the next time you write a user story, you go beyond the academically writing the Mad Lib style as a insert user. I need to insert action so that I can insert benefit. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's more. We can dig deeper, and the benefits are an authentic solution to a real problem for a real person, not just a product. Is your understanding of your customers this complete, this passionate, this genuine? I implore you to use your 5 or 6 senses to embody the real customer. Become an actor. Act 2, the writer, the crafter of stories, the idea maker, the entrepreneur, the conjurer of dreams. They're the ones that ask for the emotional investment from the actor and the audience. In some cases, they ask you to suspend disbelief and go on a magical journey with them. They take you through a beginning, middle, end to motivate you to contemplate, perhaps even challenge your humanity, your reality, your state of being, your limitations, and for a moment, be free, free of constraints. But this isn't about creating fiction. It's about telling honest stories, the ones that resonate with the tragic character that desperately wants to be saved from his situation, their situation. Stories are universal. They make us human. They change us like dopamine. They give us focus, clarity. They help us find the rhythm of life. They take that childlike wonder, meet an inciting incident, and go on a journey that makes the destination worthwhile. We think we've done something when customers reject our initial offerings and then pivot. But life, the journey, it's about conflict, change, challenges, confrontation, and the climax. All of those small decisions accumulated into one simple, focused idea. That one driving goal that drives the character, wrestling with their inner demons, those tensions as they plot twist their way to the final destination. Does your app do that? Your space, your system? Because when you do that, you have something extraordinary. You give your character that godlike moment where they feel invincible. You don't just gain a customer, you create a fan, an evangelist who will promote their satisfaction with your offering wherever they go. Do you realize how powerful that is? It's unlimited. Act 3, the director, the visionary, the head of UX, the interpreter of dreams. They take the whole and break it down into each moment, each breath, each beat of that customer experience. They visualize those moments of pain and transfigure it into joy by connecting us to the brand, the product, or perhaps just an idea. While satisfying the analytical story that executives care about, they use content, color, composition with consistency to paint a better existence. The director doesn't tell someone how to feel, they make them feel. They help you understand that you are trapped and need a way out before it's too late. For years, they're in the trenches, blooding their hands, doing arduous work from designing poorly conceived solutions to those bright milestones of perfect opportunities. They find that meditative balance between art, science, and faith. They educate, exercise, enhance, and embrace all that design has to offer. They grow from failure and they toughen their skin through harsh criticism. They add and subtract until they see clearly, communicate clearly. They tap into their subconscious, honing their instincts to choose best over good naturally. They invest, involve, influence, and inspire the next generation of designers. You might be thinking, my director of UX isn't anything like that. And you might be right, but somewhere deep inside, they aspire to be. At least at some point they did. You see, they've lived with the writer's script. They have an intimacy with the actor's preparation. And they want their audience to understand the control that they have, that they should have over the world and see how much better it can be. They go beyond customer engagement to customer intimacy. Epilogue. Why view design through this lens? Why take the time to solve problems? Why do I keep asking you questions? At the beginning of this presentation, I know some of you were lost, initially wondering, where's he going with all of this? The philosopher Jean-Baptiste Alphonse Carr said, the more things change, the more they stay the same. In this screen age that we live in, we can lose our humanity. I'm offering you a different lens to view the work we do. We need more unique voices in the work we do. Before becoming a user experience practitioner, you may have been a graphic artist, or maybe even a chef, a sports coach, a dancer, an engineer, a math teacher, or perhaps a filmmaker. We need you, all of you. Please write your truth and give us a new understanding of our world. Discover who you are, accept who you are. Help us see through your eyes, challenge and inspire us. Don't just mix methods, blend them and help us get somewhere new, somewhere authentic. After all, what is technology without the human touch? Help us find our humanity again. Help us stay human. I can't win everyone. I can't convince all of you. I'm not really supposed to. We need more voices. And now that we're at the end of our journey, our time together, I hope you have experienced a catharsis. I hope you feel inspired and happy.